There's nothing quite like taking your car out on a late night stroll down a mountain or ridgeline pass. Some call it a togue or a toge. Others call it ridge racing. And today, we're going to be doing a little bit of Initial D fantasizing here. Welcome back, y'all. A little something different today. This game is called Touge Shakai. It was initially called Initial Unity, which was a semi-popular kind of fan-made mod of the Initial D arcade games, kind of built out in, aforementioned Unity engine. And it's been out for a few years, but this version, Touge Shakai, is actually out on Steam now. They removed all of the licensed car names and the licensed Initial D stuff. It's still very, very much an homage to Initial D and the games that they kind of the arcade games and some of the PS2, PlayStation 1, PS3, etc. games that have been out over the years. But yeah, so what's interesting about this is, so this game, it's in early access right now. I don't usually pick up early access stuff. This is not a big fan of it, to be honest. I like to pick up stuff when it's done or completely done with the development. It's kind of why I like, retro games and stuff of the like. But I have been playing this off and on for like the last couple of years. It's been slowly improving, and it's actually pretty playable right now. And what's interesting about this is we're going to be checking out what seems to be like the first fan mod, which is actually, it adds like a few new tracks, like I think 6 or 7 new tracks, which is a pretty big deal because I think it bumps the tracks to like 10 or 11 now, along with some new cars, and they all feel great, and it actually kind of makes the game a little bit more full featured. So yeah, I've got it installed. It's called Shakai Extended. I will place a link to it in the description so you can check it out if for whatever reason you stumble upon this video and actually have Touge Shakai. But yeah, we'll get started here doing some downhill bombings. Let's try one of these new tracks. I also have to admit, as with pretty much everything, I am very bad at this game. There's no two ways around it. I'm just not good. I usually play racing games with my wheel. This game actually does have wheel support, but it's hit or miss. I'm not crazy about the way it feels right now, physics-wise, on the wheel, so it just feels unrealistic to me, and I don't want it messing up my actual, like, racing sim muscle memory, so playing it on controller. But you'll see here, yeah, this game, it has, like, it's, I play in first person, just makes it a little bit easier in this game. If we switch to, it's got an internal HUD view. The only thing I don't like about this is the body roll kind of messes with me. Normally, if I am playing like a game, especially where I'm drifting, I like to have a little bit of the body roll camera, but for whatever reason, it messes with me. Ooh, I already picked up a penalty. It messes with me in this mode. Here's the third person cam, you can see. I feel like most people probably play like this. So yeah, the only thing for me is just like the way that the tail whips in this game, and to be honest, it actually is pretty similar. Ooh, not good. We're gonna stick to the mode we like. Maybe we'll do one run. We'll do it nice and slow and do a third person view. But normally, in like the last Initial D game, I've beaten 3 or 4 of them, surprisingly. None of them are in English. So I usually get by with, nowadays I actually get by with Google Translate, taking pictures and kind of just like slowly stepping through whatever game I'm playing. Oh God, as you can see, yeah, I did not lie about my skills. I am absolutely terrible at this game. I also need to mention it's like never good to to race and talk That's like one of the things I kind of was putting me off from maybe playing some racing games on the channel, but we're gonna give it a try. This is the Holodeck Hour, if I didn't already mention it, if you didn't see it from the thumbnail. Ooh, almost. So we're just you're just joining me as I kind of get a little bit of game time in on some stuff. I just play so many different things. That's kind of why I've made this series. Ooh, almost. And because I really do, I just play so many different games. All right, let's see. Ooh, I need to be playing a little bit more gas. We'll talk some more car stuff here in a moment. At least I'm keeping up with the bronze ghosts. I don't even think I, on this track, got the ghost. I forget what track this is too, but it's pretty sick. Reminds me a lot of like some of the Hakone stuff out in Japan. Just kind of where, there we go. There it is. Oop. We caught it there at the end. Hakone is like the region that a lot of the Initial D stuff takes place on, if you're not familiar. Alright, so... Ooh, a little too much, a little too much, a little too much. A little too much beans, little too much beans. Yeah, an interesting part about this game is after you collide, very much like in the Initial D arcade games, you get this like engine penalty where it's... you basically stall. Where like your engine just won't... you can't apply any gas. You'll kind of keep your momentum speed, but it won't pick up much more beyond that. But the one thing I will say, I'm going to more... well, we'll see. I'm going to try and add some music in post, because this game has the most banging soundtrack. It's like all of, you know, the Eurobeat classics, but that being said, I am very afraid that I will get a copyright strike on my account. Hey, 350's not bad, actually. That's better than the time I got last time. I think that puts me at a bronze. Very nice. Even though I smacked into the wall a whole bunch of times, I still got a bronze. And let's see here. So, yeah. You can see here at the end, it kind of... the game's in an interesting place right now. So you'll see the car kind of driving through. At the end of each level, you do get these unlocks that show it's just body kit stuff. None of them really adds anything to the cars. The game is very much in a state right now where you're just doing time attacks. I mean, there's the tofu delivery mode. It's okay. I'll show you it real quick. I probably won't play any of it. But basically, it's like if you're familiar with the Initial D series, which I'd assume you are if you're watching this, although maybe you just watch my stuff because you like my channel, in which case, thank you. Initial D is a night. We'll do Shomaru. Shomaru is a pretty difficult Touge. You can see here, nobody is like, there's only 7 people who have played it in this car. This HE is just an RX-7 FD. A Mazda RX-7 FT in this game, not using the license name. I think they have separate times for night and day. Somebody said a 4:39. All right, we'll run it at daytime then. Well, there's not a lot of people in rain. Fog, heavy fog. I didn't realize that it actually has different leaderboard times per... okay, no. Only the rain does. That makes sense, because the rain is going to be a lot different, and very few people have actually ran it in the rain. All right, we'll do Shomaru during the day, the RX-7 FT. Let's see how this goes. Alt enters between full screen mode and windowed mode. It's interesting. It's the same like with a lot of emulation software. Ooh, look at that bloom. All right, so yeah, so okay, great example of where I was talking about previously. If you saw that pop up, oof, Ghost giving me like the spooks there. Okay, we absolutely do not want that. I did the same thing here. We're gonna restart. I did not mean to. You know, when you're playing at night, you actually need to flip up your headlights to get the HUD. So here you don't. But yes, that pop-up Marco Polo Fighter. Ooh, God, we'll take it. Yeah, I've actually raced this quite a bit in Assetto Corsa. This Touge is like nuts difficult. I cannot imagine if this is a. I don't know if this is a Oh god, we're just gonna take it. We're just gonna take it. I don't know if this is a real downhill section in Japan. I would assume it is, or at least it's based on one. Oh my gosh. That was really bad. The first-person view did not help me. All right, well, so maybe we'll do for this one. There's a lot of foliage here, and being that too close to the hood is kind of messing with me. But yeah, Marco Polo is a very, maybe not very famous, but he's a well-known Eurobeat artist, if not one of the more popular ones, at least to Western audiences. And a lot of his tracks were used in the Initial D TV show, and especially the games. So I don't really know if the game has the licenses for those tracks, as Marco Polo is, you know, he's like the Eurobeat guy. Maybe they did get licenses. I don't know. Licensing ain't cheap, so in the interest of not getting copyright striked, I'll probably just put some music on top of it. Maybe find something that I know will be safe or play around with some... Oof, that was a big hit. So you can see there, yeah, I got the big engine penalty. We'll try this mode for here. The only thing I really don't like is just with this game, because everything else I like about it is just how you can see it, just the back end slides out. It's honestly a lot, this car too. This FD, especially the way it's modeled in this game. Oh man, this Touge is, okay, at least we're catching up with the Ghost. Is brutal. This is a difficult as heck track. It's funny, so this really only got announced maybe like this mod 2 weeks ago. Oh yeah, this is like the section where that's like a very famous section in the anime where Takumi is I think it's in season 2 where they race here of the anime, and that, like, yeah, he like has a very famous overtake at that spot in the road. But yeah, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. I got a ping on the official Touge Shakai server that was saying, hey, we I don't know if it was endorsed, but somebody was allowed to post at everyone. And yeah, they mentioned that they put out this new mod with like these new cars and new maps. And just before that, I also got like another ping from the server that was talking about they do fan held tournaments fairly often. It's a, you know, it's kind of a unique game in the sense where like the creator built out the multiplayer and like to really do Touge battles very early on. And it's basically just like time attacks, and if you want to do like a chase and follow with, you know, a friend online, it supports that well. So as such, people have been running, you know, they just run tournaments because it's a great way to kind of do virtual Touge runs against some homies if they all have the game. So they threw it up on Twitch. I can't remember the name of the channel. It's like Shakai Knight or something like that. And it was just cool just watching, you know, these like, you know, these little clans of guys and gals who play this game. And yeah, it was just fun to watch, like, you know, people doing Touge runs. And I also have to say, I have no, I don't know if it's Touge or Touge. Oh gosh, that was a bad hit. I've heard it every which way, so forgive me if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. I deal with a lot of things in life. I say it 3 different ways to upset every possible party and make it seem like I really have no idea what I'm talking about. But yeah, the tournaments are cool. Just people, some people are really good at this game. Some people really put a lot of time into it. I'm actually having a lot easier time now with this third-person view that's a little bit closer, so maybe we'll do a little bit more of this as the runs go on. It really is just this car in particular. I love the FD. It's like one of my favorite JDM cars of the era. For a little while, I considered buying one. Man, this track is tough as nails. Although, oh man, yeah, took a few too many licks here. I think we need a 520 to get a bronze on this map. So Oof, yeah, just going in way too hot with a lot of these corners. But that's the whole point of the series, just for me to get some practice in on some games while, you know, displaying some gameplay and a little bit of casual banter. Oh, gosh, that would have definitely killed the driver. Or destroyed the car. Oh, man, can you imagine living on one of these little houses here? But yeah, the thing about this car, I'm mainly just driving it because I have, like, some cool body paint, and we'll check out some more cars here in a moment. Yeah, 27 seconds off is kind of slow, but to be expected. Yeah, the car's back end kind of flips out, and then just the way that the car over revs, like, is what messes with me. That's actually kind of why I don't play it on wheel, is like you just get a lot of force feedback when it's like redlining and like heading in the rev limiter, but it's still accelerating because usually my my indication to shift is when, you know, you're redlining. But these cars don't really follow that. So yeah, you have the classic. Actually, I don't even think that's the yeah, so that's the 8.6 from the series. I actually, well, I'll finish that story in a moment. Let's do it's 180. It's cappuccino. It's an EK9. Let's do that, and I'll show you too. So you go into the garage. I don't know. So let me change my car. So yeah, it adds a few more cars, which is really cool. For Mercedes, this is cool. Supra. Let's try the EK9. I don't know if this is one of the Audi cars. EK9 is just the chassis number for the hot hatch Honda Civic from the 90s. So you can download liveries now too, which is kind of cool. They got a decent amount of them on here too. Pretty sick. See anything stick out? What does it say? Spoon, Night Swift, Time Attack, Dodo Pizza, just a giant emoji meme. Night Kids. I could have done a better Night Kids thing. Just Italy. I wonder if they're downloads. Okay, so they are in downloads. Ooh, a Castrol Chicken Joe. I actually kind of like that, although that is definitely not the car you would do it with. All right, so this is the last page. So page number 1 is literally just, yeah, the default one. Spoon Autosports Primo. It's pretty cool. I'll do that. I don't think I have any body kit parts to put on this yet. I don't think I've raced this car yet. So if we look, I've got a little bit of money. Yeah, car level 2, so nothing so far, but we'll give this car a shot. It'll be interesting to see. I haven't really raced the RX-7. Has a very specific feel to it. Let's try a MoMG line. Let's see. Wheel and Skin Suit. It's a great name. 331 is absolutely crazy. Oh yeah, we're just gonna go for a 420 or a 4 minute would be crazy. It is cool. The game, yeah, it says there, kick a clutch when the revs drop too low. It does have like clutch modeling and force feedback modeling for your wheel and stuff like that, but there's no way I'm doing. I've never been a fan of. If I'm using a clutch, I want my foot to be on the clutch. I don't like using a clutch on a controller. All right, we'll start here. The liveries have gotten a lot better though, especially the inside ones. Oh man, this feels crazy. Oh man, this guy's taken off. All right, this car definitely feels a lot tighter, which actually is great. The Honda Civic is easily one of my favorite. Oh gosh. Whew. Big step out. Big step out, man. This is a fast. I wonder if the Ghost is bronze or something higher. That guy is cruising. I like the sound though for the Civic on this car. One interesting part about this game is like one of the tooltips in the menu, or hint tips, whatever you call it, the menu tips, says that drifting in this game is faster than grip. So if you're not familiar, ooh, oh gosh, smacked it. It looks like he hit that same curb though, because he was kind of slow through that corner. All Yeah, Honda Civic is actually not a car I would normally drift either because it is front-wheel drive. There we go. Although maybe, I don't know, I'm trying all the different modes. I usually, like I said, I kind of just race in that one mode, but you got to learn different stuff. The one thing that is nice when you're in this view is the body roll, while it can mess with you, gives you a good idea of which way the car's center of gravity is pointing. But yeah, normally drifting in a front-wheel drive car is a freaking nightmare. Oop, we're just gonna take a little detour up here. Alright. Oh, see there, a little too squirrely, and there's the reset button you can use. First time we've had to use that. All right, I think we're liking. Well, let's go back to this mode for a little bit here. We're struggling, but I haven't really played this course that much, so I don't mind doing some crashing and learning the course. That's very much par for the course, especially when you're learning a downhill, and that's kind of the point of this game. Is you know, these courses are 4 to 5 minutes long each. There's a few that are shorter and a few that are faster. You have to really kind of throttle through the corner. You can't just like throw it down or you lose grip too easily. But with these, you really have to run them like several times to get a course, at least like a good understanding of like what gear you should be in and the speed you should be going and any kind of gotchas. Like we were just racing Shumaru, right? Shumaru, it's good to know that that one zone, kind of like towards the back end, has that construction area in the middle, because that can really screw you up. It's also kind of good to know what areas you can cut, kind of like I just did there. You actually can, okay, I'll take it. You can dip your tires too into the rain troughs here on the side, which is also like a very initial D thing to help you bank corners a little bit better. It's got some cool modeling. It's been in development, like I said, for a few years, but it's come a long way. And this engine is like a rewrite, if I remember correctly, of the initial Unity engine, which already was like on a very solid footing. But it was cool to pick this up. I backed it kind of really early on when he said that he wanted to make the game legitimate and get it on Steam, because there's really not anything else out there like this. Like the closest thing is maybe the new Tokyo Extreme Racer. Obviously complete, like not completely different, but very different styles of games. That game is very much an homage to Wangan Midnight and the Maximum Tune games, especially the Wangan Midnight TV show. Not my, you know what's funny is I never got into Wangan Midnight. The art style always kind of didn't do it for me. I love the very 90s aesthetic. I think that's the end there, yeah. Is that a bronze? It is, huh? Even with all those crashes, look at that. Still getting on the board. I'll take it. Take what we can get. A few levels up for the car, yeah. I don't know if I'm crazy about the Civic. It's okay. Front-wheel drive cars are just weird to drive for this type of stuff in general. The weight distribution is kind of strange. Although even with some of the like the FD is pretty sure it's rear-wheel drive. Odawara. This is a short one, so let's do the King, Godzilla, Gojira. We'll stick with the gunmetal. This is an R32 Skyline. Gojira, obviously. Harkening back to the, what do you want to call it? The colloquial name for the Nissan Skyline. If you're into JDM stuff, everything I'm saying is like very much roll your eyes. Whew. Listen to that engine though. It's pretty good. All right, this is probably also this is a shorter track, so it's definitely not going to be a great option for the Skyline. The Skyline is a boat, but I'll be honest, this is probably like one of my favorite feeling cars in the game. Which is funny because I don't race it more. The FD just feels so squirrely. This feels exactly how I'd expect it to. Way more weight, much more of a boat. We're gonna take the inside line. just a power monster. Ah, God, yeah. So you can see he's pulling ahead because we have that engine penalty. Let's see if we can get a drift. We can, but smack the tail there at the end. There we go. Keeping it in. Skylines are difficult cars to drift. It's one of mine. Ooh. Gosh. Yeah, let's run this guy back. That was a rough start. Skylines, where I live, I am very lucky to say that I have been able to see a lot of these cars in person, to be able to watch them drift. I live very close to a very famous drift track here in North America. So I've been able to see a lot of JDM drift events. These cars, they're just crazy. Oh God, we're gonna run it back again. That was terrible. That's what I'm saying though. You really have to kind of just hit these courses over and over and over to learn where you got to go. But yeah, when I first started getting into JDM stuff, so JDM being, Japanese domestic market, just kind of like a colloquial name for a lot of these it's really more 90s JDM stuff. Oof, that was a big hit. Although actually it might not be that bad because yeah, we're gonna come out kind of slow here on this corner. Oh God, I still tapped it. No. All right, we'll just finish the track and then we'll run it back on a different one. And okay, actually now we're gonna have to go back because I've done this before. This is it actually? Yeah, no, so there's the end of the map. Whoop. I wonder if you cut through that, if it lets you count your time. But yeah, so when I first started getting into car culture and then 90s JDM stuff, Initial D, the Skyline is like, if you don't know much about cars, or especially Japanese cars, a lot of people still know the Nissan Skyline. You know what I mean? You just heard the name before. It's been a lot of popular media. It's a very popular car. It was, during the economic bubble in the 90s in Japan, all of the major car manufacturers were making just killer sports cars. That's where most of the cars from these... Oh, I did it again. Oh man, I accidentally hit back. We'll keep going though, because actually it ended up working out. I was going way too fast. I forgot that you have to turn there. And maybe the app does help in these situations. But yeah, during the 90s economic boom, this is all stuff too that I feel like everybody is kind of aware of. If you're into this, it's kind of just like the backstory of this era. But everybody was making really fast cars. You have things like the Nissan Skyline. You have things like the Mazda RX-7, the FB, the FC, the FD models. You have the Honda S2000. You have the Silvias and the 180 and the 240 SXs. All those types of cars, right? They were not terribly expensive, barring... Oh, God. That was not good. They weren't terribly expensive, barring the Nissan Skyline, which we'll talk about here more in a moment. There's a nice power slide. That's really what the car excels at. It's more of power sliding than drifting just because it weighs so much. But yeah, most of the cars were like affordable sports cars, coupes, the like. And really just like was part of an era. And then, that era ended with a recession in the Japanese economy, and they really stopped making a lot of these sports cars. But car culture definitely has continued and is still as big as ever in Japan. So now that you have backstory you've probably heard of, especially if you're watching this, the Skyline, in my mind, is the crown jewel, unless you say the 8.6, just because the Toyota Corolla twin turbo Sprinter AE86, which is the car that Takumi races in Initial D. That is the panda colored black and white Corolla. A lot of people love that car. I do too. Look at that. You actually get the brake coloration too. How do we get a bronze on that, even with all those smacks? We're gonna run that back, actually. That was pretty good. I love the way the Skyline feels in this game. It's really my favorite feeling car. Everything else feels way too arcadey. But I still am enjoying it. And you gotta learn how to drive each one of these games. Initial D feels extremely arcadey too. I mean, it is literally an arcade game that it is based off of, but the drifting is different in the Initial D games. When you drift in the like arcade games, it locks you. It's very much like Ridge Racer, where if you hit the drift perfectly, it will lock you into a corner, and you can like you can do less steering, and it's more just about brake execution and letting up on the gas so that you hit the corner and you lock into a drift. This doesn't have that mechanic. It's kind of a mix of a little bit of simulation and a little bit of arcade, because the drifts are, you can really go fast through a drift. Anyways, so the Nissan Skyline, right? Crown jewel JDM for many people. Nowadays, these things still cost well over $100,000. If you are looking for a good one, if you're going to get something like an American left-hand drive GTS, you can probably find it for cheaper, for sure, than that. You could probably find one maybe in like the 40 or 50,000s. But they're different cars. They're just not, I don't think they have RB26 engines, which is kind of like the famous one that was used with the twin turbo setup in a lot of these cars back then. So just different, but still very, very cool. I would kill to have, literally, I would take an automatic Skyline over no Skyline any day of the week, no questions asked. Ugh. But with these cars, when I started getting into more simulation games, driving them more, these cars taught me so much just about characteristics of cars, because even in this game, right, it does a good job of representing a Nissan Skyline, which is to say, it's a boat. It's an absolute boat. This thing weighs 1,000 pounds, if not, double what a lot of these other cars weigh. But it has this incredible engine that can be, they said at the time it made like, I think it was 240 horsepower was the quote-unquote legal limit that engine manufacturers were allowed to post for their cars, but during that time period, none of them actually were that slow. Most of them were like were capable of being turboed, and if you did intake adjustments, you could get these things easily cranking into like the 4 to 500s, which is why they're such sought-after cars, engines today. 233 feels a little bit better, right? There we go. Okay, I'll take a silver. That is honestly all I am looking for, is some silvers on this. And man, I wish the music is so good in this game. I wish I wasn't so afraid of it being copyright struck, but yeah, I feel like there's no way they just got that. So all right, we're gonna run. All right, so Fuji Mikaido is a longer track. This is 713. Somebody was tearing this. Absolutely tearing. We're gonna put a livery on this. Might as well. Let's see, actually might have gone, did we get a front bumper from that? Level 11. Really? We're level 11 off of that? So yeah, you can see here, we'll do that. Buy and install. I don't have a terrible amount of money. Nah, I love that. The OG look of the, R32 grille. So yeah, not too much else I can add. We can change the spoiler. I like that spoiler. Exhaust. Yeah, I'll go to fat exhaust. Nice. All right, and rims. Lets you pick any rims. Tokyo Extreme Racer was the same way, where, we'll keep the default ones. Those actually look like the rims I have right now. I like how it actually doesn't change the tire size. All right, let's see what we got. Anything cool? Anything cool? All right, they have the Calsonic, and they have the, this is Paul Walker's livery, and Fast and Furious. And some anime stuff, some cel-shaded. Ooh. This is also a very famous livery for the R32. This is the, I think this is the JDTM, like, winning one. The Calsonic might be that, too. Oh, crap. Nah. Alright, we're definitely gonna do the, the Gundam. It's the Amuro's RX-7, not to be confused, or RX-78, I should say, RX-78. Yeah, we're definitely gonna do the Gundam livery. That's sick. Very cool. Very, very cool. This car is not one of the what do you call it? DLC one. So I think so we're gonna do Fuji Mikaido. We'll do it at night. We'll do the inbound at night. I'm surprised how few people are doing the nighttime tracks, because this game, the best part about it is you get the tail lights. You get the tail light. I'll show you when I'm going through a corner. You get like the tail light tails, the nighttime tails, which is like very much the initial D aesthetic. When you're ripping it through a corner, you see, I gotta turn the lights on. You'll see it. You just get like this killer light trail as you're like drifting, which is like what made the game so iconic. So I don't know how fast you have to be going to get the trails. I don't want to bin this run right at the front, but hopefully we'll get some of them. Pretty sure I have it enabled. I think it's default. Now, Fuji Mikaido is a extremely difficult Touge that I have ran several times. It's not a real one, and I haven't ran it in real life, but actually, I'm pretty sure it's from Forza, like maybe, I don't know if it's Forza Horizon or Motorsport. I'm not a big Forza guy, to be honest. I'm much more of a Gran Turismo guy. Although I did play a lot of Motorsport 3, Horizon, either Horizon 4 or Horizon 5. Oof, I'm trying to get the tails, but it's not. I don't think I'm going fast enough. Oh man, that was a disastrous penalty. Oh my gosh, that's gonna kill our time. Oh my gosh, let me see something. So if we go into settings and graphics, headlight shadows, motion blur, or brake trail, night replay only. That's funny. I could have sworn. Well, no, I guess that's true. It is during the replays. So yeah, because I'll do a hard drift here and then we're gonna run it back from the top. Yeah, so I'm not getting it on. Let's see if I look behind the car, will I get it? We're just gonna like big brake. Okay, yeah. So you only get it while doing the replay. Noted. All right, we're gonna do it the way we like. Yeah, the brake trails are sick. You get it during just the replays of it, so I'll show it at the end, but it is super sick. I love the way it looks. But yeah, Fuji Mikaido, I'm pretty sure it's from Forza. If it's not, you know, berate me in the comments and correct me. But it's definitely one of those where, oh god, terrible first turn. It has been remade in a ton of, like, I have this in Assetto Corsa. I have this in BeamNG. There's a whole bunch of different games that let you play this course, and it is a super legendary Touge that is extremely difficult. In my mind, this is like the Nürburgring of Touges. It is like 9 minutes. It's just a ton of very difficult corners. It's not very high speed. A Skyline is definitely not the best car for it, as it is a boat. But I love the way that the Skyline feels in this one. I feel like I have a lot more control. So to kind of go back to what I was talking about earlier, when I started like driving these cars more, because I'm like, oh man, you know, Nissan Skyline, so cool. You know, every once in a while, I'll be like driving and one will pull up next to me, like literally an R32 pulled up next to me 2 or 3 weeks ago. Gunmetal silver, gunmetal gray, whatever you call it. And gosh, it was actually left-hand drive. It was, or a right-hand drive. It was, oh man, look at the freaking moon, dude. Oh man, I almost crashed there. It looks so cool. We still crashed because we suck. But gosh, whenever I see one of these in person, I literally still, my jaw drops. I love this car. But yeah, when you race it in games, it's heavy. It turns very, very slow. It carries an insane amount of momentum through corners compared to something like the FD, which we were racing earlier, or even the Honda Civic, which we were racing earlier. And I just was like, man, I actually like hate these cars because they drive terribly. What you slowly start to realize the more you race these is that, and the more you race in general, is every car has to be driven its own way. Not to say that skills don't transfer over. Here's our first little tunnel. Yeah. There we go, a little bit better. Not to say that, you know, you have to, no skills are transferable between different cars, because a lot of it is, but understanding weight transfer, understanding like the way the car reacts when you're braking, when you're accelerating, does it, you know, when you're accelerating, does it pull to the front like a front wheel drive car? Do you feel like the weight drop into the back? I just didn't really get that in this car, because I still just love the way it looked, and you know, not all games model it perfectly. This one does a good job of making it feel like a boat. Gran Turismo also makes it feel like a boat. Assetto Corsa, if the model is correct and the default ones do, feels like a boat. But it's a boat that rips, and that's really the way you drive this car. It's a powerhouse, right? You're power sliding more than you're drifting. You don't really throw the tail out more than you should, just because you're going to lose your back grip. It's very much just a grip machine where you can definitely drift. Don't get me wrong, people drift the crap out of these things. But you can, it's more, in my mind, it's more of a power slide machine. You're applying gas as you are on the slip angle of your car, and you're just, you know, getting it where you can. We're trying just to be careful here. Ooh. There we go. Not bad, not bad. Not terrible. I'll take it. I'll take it. This is a great, honestly, this is a great rendition of Fujimi Kaido. I'm trying to remember. I have some old runs because I love recording my driving sessions. I have a different channel for it. Actually, it's called Time Attack TV, if you want to check it out. I haven't posted on it in a while because I'm working on way too many projects. But oof, here we go. That wasn't bad at all. That was bad. We just smack right into it. But I've always loved just recording my kind of replays from car games, putting music behind them, so that's a lot of what that channel is. But the last time I really was actually hitting it there. Okay, this is actually the exact section I was thinking of. This is now, so you kind of go uphill for half the track, and then it's a loop, so you then proceed to go downhill for the back half of the track. And this is like a crazy downhill. It is very, very aggressive, and you have to kind of cut in a lot of these corners here, which I'm trying to do with not great accuracy. Ooh, and a little tail smack. All right, this is like one of my favorite corners up here. No, it's actually the next one, as I am just pinballing off of these corners. Ugh, I'm not doing the Fujimi Kaido name justice. All right, so here's the bridge. Or no, that was the tunnel. These tunnels I definitely remember. I think it's after the end of here, you come up to these like huge open sections, which are really good for doing downhill drifts. If you're playing like on a, oh gosh, just murdered that corner. If you're doing a like a Touge server, a lot of people will kind of just like post up back here. Not on this part yet. We're still not there. But they'll post up at the top, and you guys will just take turns flying down the mountainside. That's like I just love that. Like, you know what I mean? I don't live in Japan. I don't have a car that I would feel comfortable drifting on a mountain, just because A, I probably would fly off the side of the mountain and die, and B, I don't want to break my car, and C, cops. But being able to do it virtually and just pretend and just like hang out with the boys, or gals, if you got drift gals, you know. My, oh gosh, my fiance is a drift gal, which is pretty cool. But just hanging out, driving, hitting runs, and then, you know, just this is actually, so this is the section back here. It's got these really cool corners. This is what I was talking about. You kind of just throw back here. It's just fun, man. It's just fun just to like hang out in the lobby and just try and do drifts with the gang. Oh, I am definitely not doing it justice. But that's that section. I love that section here. It's big open sections you can hit if you actually know how to play this game. Like, I clearly don't. Man, this is a great, I'm so glad they add. This is not a map I expected them to add. This is not in like any of the initial D games. It's very much just a Forza or sim community game or sim community map. But yeah, when I was kind of going hard on it earlier, or I'm sorry, when I was going hard practicing this map, oh gosh. I was doing it in Civic. I was doing it in the Hot Hatch EK9. Much different driving experience, a lot more just trying to keep it on the road, and you can really throw it around corners. The car is so light. I will say, so the cars that I've owned in real life, I wasn't really into cars for a long time. 828, it's not terrible. Got a bronze off it. I'll take it. I'll take it. I've owned a Honda Civic, and I absolutely loved it. I had an FK10, which is the 2017 hatchback model. Nope, didn't mean to do that. Did not mean to do that. It was an automatic. I didn't know how to drive stick at the time, but I had it for 7 or 8 years. Sold it a couple years ago. We'll do one more with Akina, and we'll do the 8.6. Just to do the thing, you know. This is the initial D experience, so I'll end it on a high note. Probably gonna crash it a lot too. We'll probably do some more as this. I really like playing this game, and I'm actually surprised. Talking hasn't been too bad on this. We'll probably do some more holodeck hours as I record this, but I loved my Civic. I love I didn't realize when I bought it how much I was going to love it. Oh man, that ghost is actually kind of messing with me. Oh man, you can see he's squirrely too. This car, oh my god, what a maniac. Okay, I'm just gonna fly past him. We're gonna pretend I didn't smack into the wall. Because, what a psychopath. I was like, man, that is the most confident drift I've ever seen. This car drifts like crazy. This car is just a wet noodle. Yeah, though, when I picked up my Honda Civic, very much was not a car person. I was very much in the mindset of like, oh, they're cheap-ish, you know. This was, God, so 2017, I bought it. It was like 18,000 bucks then, something like that. New, which is crazy to say nowadays. But got a great deal on the car. And as like towards the end of me owning that car, I really started getting into sim racing and cars and all that stuff. And I was like, holy cow, I love my car. And I just didn't realize how like sick Honda Civics were in terms of suspension and the way they feel, because I've driven a few of them in real life. Obviously owned one for a while, but having driven, you know, I don't know, maybe I've driven 3 different models in real life, and then having driven a ton in video games and sims, they all really feel the same. Like they just have a very specific feel. They feel locked to the road, very responsive driving, tight suspension, not a lot of body roll. You know, depending on the year, some of them definitely have more body roll than others, but taking it easy through here. Yeah, this is the experience when you're flying on. I'll show the brake lights here at the end. Remind me at the comments if I don't. Ugh. But after driving that car for a few years, and I loved it. I really loved it towards the end. I was kind of sad to sell it because the only reason I did sell it was I don't have room in my driveway for 3 cars, unfortunately. But I ended up actually picking up a BRZ. That was the car I picked up. I picked it up last year. It's a stick shift, new Subaru BRZ. And for those who don't know, for the last 10 or so years, the BRZ, the Scion, rest in peace, FRS, and the Toyota 86 have been on are basically the same car. They've been like that for a little while now. Toyota and Subaru kind of came together to support the platform. The I'm sorry, it's not a flat 4. They all have boxer engines, which means that it is a horizontally laid out engine bay, which puts the engine lower to the ground. It's supposed to, you know, the left and right is supposed to give it, like the pistons go left to right, and it looks like they're boxing one another, hence the boxer engine name. But it is kind of thought to help with stability and be a very good racing chassis. Nowadays, especially very recently, there's been kind of like a shift in public opinion about whether or not that's true, but I've always wanted one, and I finally had the opportunity to get one. Oh god, that was way too fast. Way too fast. We're gonna get a big penalty off of that hit. You kind of take your G's and how fast you hit, and it gives you a penalty based off of that. But I love my new car. Like, I basically got it because I love JDM culture. I love going to car shows. A lot of people kind of crap on the BRZ and the new 86, but, you know, I wanted a new car with some creature comforts that was not, you know, 20 years old and still, you know. The crazy part is that car, like when I bought it, was one of 6 left in the United States in terms of manufacturing of stick-shift cars. There's very few left being made. So it was like one of the last sticks I could buy in terms of manual transmission. That car rips every single day I drive that car. I am thankful and I love it. And I kind of got it because I love the 86. I love the original 86. I've had an opportunity to pick it up a few times, but I just need a bigger house and more space in my garage. But yeah, I don't think this was a very good time. I don't think my Akina time is gonna. I don't think I'm gonna be beating the Red Suns or any of the Night Kids tonight. That's for sure. But yeah, that's been my kind of car journey so far. I've just kind of put Brembo brakes on it, and I have some anti-sway bars in there. It came with a limited slip diff, which was pretty nice. So that's about all I've gone on it right now. Haven't really upgraded the suspension or anything. Haven't done too much to it, but just been loving the way it drives. That's my daily right now. I'm super happy with it. So the 86 always, even the old ones, you know. It's kind of like if you're into JDM stuff, the 86 I feel like is a bit of an overplayed trope. You know what I mean? So many drifting games start with the 86, like Tokyo Extreme Racer does, Tokyo Extreme Racer Drift. I don't know if the new one, oh man, right at the end here. I don't know if the new one comes with, makes you start an 8.6, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did. Wow, I can't believe we still got a bronze on that. Yeah, these, it's so funny, all these holodeck hours are just like somebody who's very mid at a game, slowly learning. But that's the point of the series. Oh man. So yeah, that's, I think that's where we'll call this one. It's a little bit of a, that was super fun. Didn't really we got a couple. We got one silver, which is pretty nice. I'm you know, admittedly crap at all this stuff, but this is Touge Shakai. It's out on Steam right now in early access. There's not a lot to it right now. Let's see. So there's, with the mod on, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's actually more tracks than I thought. So you do get 16 tracks. That's actually, you know, that's pretty good. That's pretty sick. And then there are, let's see how many cars. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 cars. And has leaderboards that work. You've got multiplayer that works. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. It's really just a time attack game to, you know, drive and little arcadey, little simmy. Like I said, this is with the Shakai extended mod, which I'll link to as well. It's not terribly hard to download. I will say one thing that did trip me up. You have to install the .NET 6 runtime package if you don't have it. A lot of people probably do, but I did not. So if you download this and you get an error when loading it, and it's during the launcher it gives you to that, you need to install the .NET 6 runtime, and you should be good. Not terribly hard to install either. But yeah, this is like my first little car thing on the channel too, so probably be some more of it in the future. I was hoping to get some good runs today, but I don't think I'm gonna have any to post for my time attack channel, so maybe next time. But as always, if you enjoyed today's content, commenting, liking, subscribing, etc. helps the algorithm, helps the channel grow. Yeah, I think I'll stop the rambling now. I hope to catch y'all on the downhill, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.